Is this a cumulative effect in terms of Mr. Hegseth's tenure in office that led to you today calling for his resignation, or is it something specific about these latest revelations?
Well, Rachel, you didn't even give the full story on this latest revelation. It was not only his wife, but his brother, who's been put in a cushy job at the Pentagon, his personal lawyer, who's been put in. This is a reflection of the kind of nepotism that spreads all across this Trump administration. We've had 2 reports now. Anybody who follows the intelligence community or the defense community would know if a normal military officer or CIA officer had let this information out while our jets were flying to hit the Houthis, they would be fired immediately. And what I'd like Pete Hegseth to do is I want him to go down to Naval Station Norfolk, which is the home port of the aircraft carrier Truman. The Truman is the aircraft carrier in the Eastern Med where these jets were launched from. And I want him to talk to the men and women who know people on the Truman, explain that this was not classified, that if this information had gotten out, they know their loved ones would have been potentially taken down by the Houthis' defense. The arrogance of this crowd and the incompetence is breathtaking, and it is costing not only morale in the DOD, morale in the intelligence community, and making all our friends and allies across the world say, man, we can't trust this crowd with any kind of classified information.
We are also now seeing officials who are close to Mr. Hegseth, people who are operating in political appointed positions at the top echelons of the Pentagon, who are all now being sort of flung out. Do you have any insight into what's going on at the top ranks there? By my count, at least 5 top officials have resigned or been transferred or been fired just in the last few days with very little explanation as to why. And some of those people who have been fired or removed saying they themselves don't know why they've been taken out.
I think some of the folks were probably actually competent, but this guy is so far beyond his skis, so far beyond the ability to manage, frankly, what's the biggest operation in our whole government. It's we all who opposed him knew this was coming. We shouldn't be surprised. But when you put somebody of this incompetence at this level, and then his careless treatment of classified information, and again, going back to this most recent exposure on the Signal chat, the fact that he's got not just his wife, but a brother and his personal lawyer, that is not the way the Defense Department operates. This is beyond the pale, and what I worry about is how many other good people that serve to keep our nation safe are going to say, we can't follow this guy. So I do hope that he would, I don't expect the honorable thing, he would quit. And I'm not sure that Mr. Trump will ever hold anybody accountable. But what's remarkable as well, Rachel, is we don't know, have any of these folks who were on this chat, have any of them had their phones checked for malware put on? The bad guys, if they follow one of these conversations, can put malware on your phone without holding your phone. This is basic cybersecurity and Intel 101, and these folks have got no notion or any kind of understanding of how important this information is.
You know, Senator Warner, the first revelation about the first Signal group chat about those war plans, I think, shocked people legitimately, even people who didn't have high expectations for the competence of this administration. It resonated deeply with the public. We know that in part from public polling on the subject, where people overwhelmingly said that people should have been fired over that, and they thought that it was overwhelmingly very serious, despite the fact that we had the White House and the Hegseth crowd sort of pushing back and saying it was no big deal. Now that there has been a second revelation of yet another instance like this, I wonder if we're approaching a point where some of your Republican colleagues in the Senate might join with you in a bipartisan way, might approach the White House, might say, listen, this was a narrow confirmation. A lot of us had doubts about him. Our doubts are being proven correct. This is the guy you need to move out of here.
Rachel, you got it. I mean, we've always felt the Intelligence Committee, the Armed Services Committee, we've always been prided ourselves on being bipartisan. Will any of my Republican friends find their voice and say, this is a bridge too far? When we are deteriorating, putting our armed forces in harm's way potentially, when we're pissing off all our allies, when we're undermining the confidence of the men and women who serve in our armed forces or in the intelligence community, what will be finally the breaking point? I hope and pray this is it, because we are making our country less safe every day this guy stays in that office.
Senator Mark Warner of Virginia, the top Democrat on the Intelligence Committee. Sir, thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy man right now, and I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Rachel.